everyone, it's Liliana with Eventcraft Studio Seasonal Wreaths and Holiday Decor, and tonight I am here because I would like to work on a spring deco mesh wreath. So anywho, I'm going to go, for the sake of time, I'm going to explain everything as I go along. I don't want to waste too much time because like I said, it is very late and it's only Wednesday night. So what we're going to be working on, and my video's not showing up, oh my god. What we're going to be working on tonight is a deco mesh wreath. It's going to be a deco mesh wreath, and we're going to use this pink base. Everything is going to be based around this sign, this welcome sign, which is scream spring, right? It's lavender and it has nice cute what is it, like watercolor? Oh no, it's painted, that's what it's called. It's painted floral. So it has a painted floral background, and it has the pinks and a little bit darker, like a darker pink. It has light pinks, darker pinks, it has teals and aquas. It's awesome. It screams pink. I'm sorry, spring. So like I said, this is what we're going to be working on. This is our main focal point, which is the sign. We're going to use this deco mesh wreath. I'm sorry, this deco mesh pink. And this is actually pretty awesome. It's a check mesh. Fabric check is what I read on the description of on the label. Yeah, check fabric mesh. And I got this from Greenery Market. And then this poly burlap one is going to be what I'm going to be doing as a second level on top. Because I always like to add that second color. I didn't do it the last time. I didn't do it with this one, which was a very thing for me to do. So like I said, for the sake of time, let's just jump right into it. Okay, and the two ribbons. These are the ribbons that I'm going to be working on. See, this is going to be this nice like seafoam aqua-ish color, and then this pink plaid, pink and white. Okay, so that's it. Let's get going. All right, so what I just did was I prepared the base. This is a pencil work form. So what I did was I made sure that these are standing so that when we work with our mesh, we don't have to try to lift it, stand it up. It's ready to go. Okay, so for our base, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 10-inch loops. This is a 10-inch mesh. And what I like to do is try to find the 2 points where they're closest to each other. So that way, when I'm crossing over from top level to the bottom level, it's a little bit easier because I'm just bridging over and it's not going to be diagonal. It's just going to be like a straightaway. Okay, so I like to start at the top, and I'm going to grab about 5 inches. 5 inches of the mesh. And I'm just going to place it. We're just going to open these loops right here and just place it. I'm not going to go crazy with the amount of twists that I do in there, simply because I am going to open it again for the next level of mesh, for the next layer of mesh, and also for the ribbons. Okay, so what I'm going to do now are 10-inch loops. So I'm going to measure from the knot here, and from the ties to 10 inches. 14 for me because I'm at the 4. And then I'm just going to turn this, go to the next place, and just tie it in. Now as you do this, a good idea would be to just twist in puff it up if you need to puff it up a little bit, turn in your edges so they're not sticking out, because if you try to do that at the end, to have to come back and find them, it's going to be a little bit harder. So this is going to be probably what takes the longest, aside from cutting your ribbon. But like I said, I already cut the ribbon. But this is preparing the base. This is what you're going to work on. It's probably what's going to take the longest. Now, if you're making these to sell, what I like to do sometimes, if I already have plenty of signs, I have plenty of mesh, and I know that I'm going to be making a lot of mesh wreaths, I prepare everything. Like I have this little table behind me, and I set it up kind of like, I like to use the word kit, like I'm making my own little kits. And I make all the meshes, like this is going to be my bottom mesh, this is going to be my top mesh. And I lay them all together, or I set them up together, put all the signs together, put all the florals together, and then assembly line. So I make all the bases, one after the other. Then I cut all the top mesh, one after the other. Then I cut all the ribbons. Prepare all the signs. And then in a few hours you'll have, or a few days, depending how you do it, because sometimes it does take me a few days. but then they're all finished like around the same time. And that feels good. That feels good because then you have, depending how many you do, like 3 or 4 or 5 finished products all at the same time. So that always feels awesome. So I'm still doing the 16 now, sorry, 10 inches across. 10-inch loops. I'm measuring 10 inches across, and I'm just gonna go to the next tie. Now you don't have to measure. There are plenty of people that I know, and there have been times where I myself don't measure. But I'm a measurer. And you actually save a little bit more time when you don't measure. If you just eyeball it. Because sometimes the ties aren't exact. They might be off a little bit. It happens. So you notice that one loop is a little bit puffier than the other. And that's when you just eyeball it. Just do whatever looks the best. So I'm coming to the last point. This is what I have so far. I'm coming to the last point here. I'm going to measure these 10 inches. I'm going to open where I started, and I'm going to end right there. So it's going to be basically 2 little gatherings. This little guy right here is going to have more. The 2 points are going to have more than the others. Actually, the bottom one, but I'll explain now. But for now, this one's going to have more than the other ties on the wreath. Because we're opening it up again to add more mesh to it. So I'm opening it, closing it, well, adding it right there, and then I'm closing it. And I'm going to puff this up, and now is when I'm going to bridge down. What I'm going to do, what that means is, I'm going to take this, I'm going to pull it as tightly as I could. This time I actually didn't get the 2 that were closest. It's off a tiny bit, but it's not the end of the world. And I'm going to cross over. See that? Usually I like them to be perfectly one on top of the other. It didn't work out that way today, but it's okay. So I'm crossing over a tiny bit. Going back, not the end of the world. And then I'm going to close it. So let me see if you can see that. Right, there you go. Nope, there you go. Sorry, I'm seeing everything backwards. So see that? So I crossed over from top to bottom, and I opened the bottom. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go 10 poofs all around. 10-inch poofs, I'm sorry. 10-inch poofs all the way around on the bottom level now. So I'm at the 5 right now. So I'm going to 15, gathering it. And opening the next one, placing my mesh, closing it, and just keep going the same thing. When I'm here, again, I like to double check it, make sure that my mesh is already fluffed up. Don't leave it stretched out. I mean, don't leave it like all gathered. I like to puff it up so that way I don't have to come back and look at it. So I'm at, again, 15. Just keep doing that all the way around. This mesh is beautiful. My God, I love this color. I've never worked with this color or this type of mesh before. This check mesh, fabric check, or check fabric. What was it? Check fabric mesh. I have the little paper right below. This is gorgeous. I don't know if the color translates as much, but look how pretty that is. It's beautiful. Love it. Almost finished with our bottom level. Okay, so now I came to where I started, and now I'm going to open this up again, and I'm going to place this the mesh where I started. Okay, so we went completely around. So now we're going to add a 3rd level. Now this level is going to be in the middle. So we're going to go, the reason for this level is because we don't want to be able to see this, right? It's not that pretty. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 8-inch loops from here to the bottom. Some people like to zigzag. I like to go from bottom to bottom. So these, so I'm going to start here, measure out 8 inches, and just keep going all the way around. Now 8 inches works for me. feel free to try different sizes. I've tried 10. I feel like it's too much. I've tried 9. I feel like it's too much. 8, like 7.5, 8 seems to be the number that I feel works best for the look that I like. Of course, feel free to do it however you like. See? And we have that little loop in there, and it covers it up. It looks a lot more finished when you do that. Okay, and that's it. Just keep going until we finish our base. And my ribbons are going all over the place. I'm so sorry. I have them right here. I should have put them behind me. That's all we're going to keep doing. Now here as well, the same way that I do when I'm on the top and bottom levels, I try to make sure that the ends are tucked in as I go along. That's why it seems like I take a little bit longer, or a little bit of extra time while I'm in there. It's because I'm fixing it as I go along, so I don't have to come back later on and try to fix it. And it's a little bit, I don't want to say tedious, but mesh gets stuck to itself. So when you're working in the middle level, it could be a little bit of a pain because it gets stuck with itself. Just have patience. It happens to everyone. See, but look how pretty that looks already. But you have to move the mesh, move the top layer and the bottom one, the top level and the bottom level. And it's going to get stuck depending on the mesh. Not all mesh is created equal, but they all stick to each other, to itself, to some degree or another. Like I said, I'm fixing it up, poofing it up as I go. This mesh is amazing. Got it at Greenery Market. I just placed an order. Well, I just received this order. 2 orders. Yesterday or the day before? Yesterday. And then I ended up buying the Greenery box because, you know. Because you gotta. And now I'm loving this mesh. And I'm like, I only got one of this pink. I got a pink, I got a fuchsia. And I got these lavenders. I got a purple and a turquoise. I'm working on summer. I'm working on summer and spring. And I have tons of florals. Tons of florals. So you're going to be seeing a lot of grapevines. So that's why I bought the mesh, because I really want to be able to alternate between working with mesh and working with grapevines. But I honestly have a lot more materials to work on grapevines. So you may see a lot more grapevines. And there might be grapevines with signs. I like working with grapevines also that don't have signs, just florals. Those are always pretty. Show you how I'm going along. We're more than halfway. More than halfway. And I said 8. I keep moving around the mat, so I'm like, have to keep doing the math in my head. Luckily it's easy math. But I have to keep coming back. This is going to be pretty. This is very, very pretty. You could tell like right away. And what's awesome about this wreath is that the sign, I was looking for ribbons. I'm trying to be good, right? I'm like, let me use what I have. So I'm looking through any materials that I have for the ribbons. And I just kept going through my ribbons and going through them, because I had a feeling. I'm looking at the sign, and sure enough, I had, where'd it go? The matching ribbon. This is so exciting for me. The ribbon matches the sign perfectly. But this ribbon, I've had it there. And I don't even remember what wreath I used it on. I'm pretty sure I sold it already. The only issue is that because it was used, I don't have the full amount to work on the entire wreath. So I wasn't able to come out with, what is it? What do we have? 36, 18 spots. 18 spots at 13 inches each. I don't believe I had enough, so that's why I didn't use it. I ended up going with the turquoise instead. Okay, so I came to the point where I started. So what I'm gonna do now is I have to open this point again, and I'm gonna end by placing it where we started. Now this guy here has tons of mesh. It has the bridge, it has the loop to go across, so this one has the most. So once I came all the way around, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it. We started with about 5 inches. We're gonna do about the same. And like I always say, save this. Save this, save this, save this. Do never, ever, 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 ever throw out your mesh. All these extras, fill in. Like the same exact thing that I'm doing here, that I'm gonna do with this, you could do with those. You could alternate the colors. Or if you made 2 pink bases, you'll have enough to make the second level. So always save these. Always, always, always save these. So this mesh is a poly burlap mesh. It is 10 inches as well. I cut it to 13 inches. 13 inches. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to find the midpoint. I'm going to turn it in just a little bit. So we try to avoid try to limit the amount of fraying, a tiny bit of it. It's not going to, it's still going to fray. But just trying to help the fraying. And just try to gather it. Pushing it back. Need a little bit of patience for that. And the same thing at the other end. You're going to turn it in. Okay? So now we're going to go back to where we started. Or any point actually at this point. You're going to open it up. Back to our wreath. We're going to place that. Try to go right in the middle. And the reason that you always see me do this, if you follow me, I love adding the second mesh. I love it. I love it. It helps with the dips. These dips that you have here, it helps fill them up, and it also adds another level of color. I personally love it. Okay, see that? Okay, so we're gonna do, that was 1, we have 17 more to go. So I'm just gonna go, and I'll try to just pop in show it to you every once in a while. I absolutely love these mesh. Oh, excuse me. I've been using a lot. I've been buying more of the designer mesh that you get from specialty stores. Kind of like Greenery Market. That's where I got these. And the quality, oh my god. Like I was actually saying to if anybody here follows them, I was saying to Alana, I'm like, oh my god, I'm becoming like a mesh snob because I love the mesh that they carry, and for the price, it's amazing. Look how pretty that is. Do you see that? I'm not knocking. I still have plenty of retail store ones. I do, and I use them for my bases. But then I end up using one of these up top. But these are just amazing, and they're all different. They're all different. Like I showed you the check on this one, the fabric check. First time I see that. I had never seen that before. The stripe one is one that I've seen a lot, and I've been using it a lot. The fabric stripe, that's a pretty one. But the fabric check, this is very pretty. So you see these, they're gonna come off, they're gonna fall off, I leave them until the very end, because if you start pulling them, you're gonna go insane. And today, I'm not even gonna cut these off. I'll cut them off when this wreath gets purchased and it's gonna get sent out, then I'll start cutting. Because I'm afraid that if I cut these and the next level is going to be exposed and then that one might start fraying, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to just keep adding more to the trouble, to the potential fraying that may happen. But that's just me. That's my overthinking, as usual. But it does work, because it's always gonna, whenever you're gonna ship out a wreath, you always make sure it looks great, right? You cut off any little things that may have shifted, any little things that come off. Sometimes you resecure the sign, whatever it needs, just to make sure that when your customer receives it, it looks amazing. And they open that box, right? So that's why these, I'm not cutting them. Nope, not me, not right now. So it may bother some people, I know. It is a little bit annoying, but just for the for business purposes, it doesn't make sense. Just realized I never tucked in my little tail at the end. Oops. But look how pretty that's looking. Isn't that looking like super springish, Easter, pastel-y? Gracias. Gracias, tía. Tiene que venir a hacer una conmigo. She just said that the wreath is pretty. And I said she has to come make one with me. Now, a little bit of Spanish translation for the non-Spanish speakers. If you look at the chat, she wrote "Está bonita la," and there's a crown there. So she said, it's pretty, that's like direct translation, the crown. But crown, corona, in Spanish means wreath. So whenever I post things on Instagram in Spanish about coronas, which are wreaths, I always get the CDC thing on it. Because corona is wreath. It's a little Spanish lesson for everyone. So that's why she got the little Spanish, the little crown emoji came out for her. Not emoji, yeah. Okay, there we go. Almost there. We still haven't done the center. This is just the outside. This is just the bottom level. Another interesting Spanish fact. Nobody knows how to say grapevine in Spanish. Some words just don't translate, right? So I looked it up, and it seems that the word for grapevine is spelled V-I-D. Now imagine my heart attack when I found that. I was like, no way. Because I come on twice per week. One's in English, one's in Spanish, and I have to say corona, wreath, grapevine, wreath. I mean, come on. I thought when I looked at it, I was like, there just can't be it. It just can't. I mean, wreath I've always known. I've always known that wreath is corona. I've always known that. But grapevine? I was like, no way. So I learned something new. One more at the bottom, and then we start working at the top. But yes, I'm learning a lot. There is no direct translation for swag. Garland there is, not for swag. So I've been learning a lot, doing a lot of research. And I like to share this information because it's interesting to me, especially since I'm fluent. I grew up with this is my family's language. So even though once you get to school, you know how it is, you drop the language from home because you're around your friends, but there are certain words where, you know, you don't use regularly. Okay, so now we're working on the inner level. Now we're going to start adding the mesh to the top level. And I am going to do my usual, which is the top level. I add it horizontally. See that? Instead of vertically, I'm adding it horizontally. This is going to be so pretty. You know when you know? As you're working on your wreath or whatever it is that you're working on, and you just know it's going to look good. This is going to look good. Look how pretty. See that? Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. That's a keeper. That's a keeper. Hi, Tina. Yes, it's poly burlap. It's a poly burlap mesh. See that? And then the bottom one, I'll do this quickly for you. I'm not sure if you saw it. This one is, I keep looking down here. It's a check fabric mesh. How cute is that? See that? You actually see the squares. But when I bought it, it didn't say that. It was just a pink mesh. But I'm really loving the poly burlaps. I've even used them as the base, and they look good. I didn't think at first that I was going to like the poly burlap for the base, and I like them. You know, sometimes it's like, alright, I have the mesh. Use what you have. Let's see how it comes out, and then you end up loving it. So that's happened to me quite a few times. Especially when you're used to working with one thing. But even with your materials, you have to break out of your comfort zone. But I get it. You know what you work with. You know it looks good. You know what you're doing. So it's just easy. But every once in a while, you're forced to get out of that. And then you're like, hey, it's not so bad. Actually, it looks awesome. And then you stick with it. Like me, for example, I used to only work with 21-inch mesh. My bases were always 21 inches. And now I just started working with 10-inch. Last year I started working with 10 inches, and I'm actually loving it. I'll admit though, there are some wreaths that I have pending in my mind, and I'm going to go back to my... Well, I have my materials. I have 21-inch meshes. But I like working with the 21-inch. However, I was pleasantly surprised with the 10-inch. Because I was always afraid that the 10-inch, you were going to see everything through the gaps. Like everything through here. But once you add that inner level, it fixes it up for you. I have this giant table and I'm working on the tiny corner here. Okay, we're almost at the end. Same thing all the way around. Open it, close it. And then we're going to open it one more time when we add... See, since I'm already there, I'm already starting to fluff it up and try to take out the pink, because we're using both these colors and we don't want to lose the pink. That happens sometimes when you add the second level or the top layer and you end up losing the color of the mesh. It's like you're investing this money, right? That's the way I look at it. It's money. You're investing money in your project and then you don't see it. So that's why it's like, if I'm adding that pink to it, I want to be able to see it. Because then we're going to add the ribbon to it, and then I have tons of florals. I have 3 different types of, well, 2 florals and 1 floral, 1 filler, and 1 greenery that I took out for it. Now, I'm not 100% sure if I'll add all 3, but there definitely are 2 that are going to go on. Let's see that. One more. Okay. Last one. Hi, Hi, Debbie. How are you? Right. You want to see your bottom mesh. It drives me insane when I have a really nice mesh and it disappears. For that, I'm like, why did I buy it? Why did I use it? But that's why also I tend to not use the pattern ones at the bottom anymore. Unless it's like a buffalo, I try not to use them. Because I'm like, if you're not going to see it as much, then what's the point? Just use a solid one. Okay, yay, we're finished. Yay, yay, yay. There we go. There we go. There is our base. See how cute that is? Now you could stop here. I've seen plenty of people stop here. See that? You could use that. It is cute. But we're not going to stop here. Now we're going to add our sign. Now when I add my sign, I always try to find the point where, like, what's going to be my top point. So my sign is kind of like centered, if that makes sense. I don't want the sign to go on a spot where, so basically this is my high point. See that? Like if I put a floral here, it's going to show that it's going to be the highest point. If I put the sign, if I make this my highest point, there's like two sections. I personally don't like it. I like for there to be like a higher point, and it's usually where one of the ruffles is. Okay, so I'm going to add my sign right here. Yes, I'm adding my sign first. I did this, usually I add the ribbons first, but recently I was live and I just was working and I added the sign first. I wasn't paying attention. I'm like, you know what? I didn't flatten out my ribbons as much after that. So let's try it again and see if I stick with it. But check this out. See how cute that is? If you haven't noticed, I love purple. See my mat? Purple. My scissors? Purple. Everything's purple. So I love this. I really love this. Gracias, tía. Gracias por estar aquí conmigo. She's saying it looks very pretty. And I just said thank you. And thanks for being here with me. And she's using the word at the end with the S. Sobrina, that means niece. It looks beautiful. My pretty niece. See, I'm translating for you now. I'm giving you Spanish lessons. I wish I knew more languages, because if not, I would be doing them all. But I just got two. Just two for now. For now. Because, hey, who knows when we add more languages. Okay, so I'm making sure that I'm centered. Making sure that I'm... Sometimes your wreath might come out, your sign might be a little bit too high. That's okay if that's what you want. If you want a bigger bow at the bottom. Sometimes you want it lower because you want the bow at the top, or you want florals at the top, or whatever it may be. Today I want my sign to be in the middle. But sometimes as you're adding the sign, and it doesn't cooperate, you end up just leaving it and it works out. My child is still sleeping, which is good, good, good. And my HVAC just went on. It took me a while to come on today because I tried working with a microphone. Didn't work. Did not work. So I'm trying to make sure that I project for you, because I have that background noise. But I'll test it out in the daytime before I come on. See if I get it right. Okay, so here we go. And everybody's different when it comes to their signs. I personally like my sign to be like tight. Tight, tight. And the blue in it afterwards. Like, I don't want it to move. That's me. I don't want it to move. Wherever it may be on the wreath. Oh, how cute. See how cute. And you can see the pink. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, now let's add our ribbons. Let's add our ribbon. See how cute that is? Yeah, I think I'm kind of sticking with adding the ribbon last. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. And I did it by mistake. It just happened to work that way, and I'm sticking with it. Okay, so now we're gonna add our 2.5 inch hot pink. Check. I cut these at 13 inches, and this is not a teal, the turquoise. Not really turquoise. Oh God, I would never think that I actually went to school for this. My colors are all off. Seafoamish, I'd say. Okay, so here are our colors. 13 inches. Lay one on top of the other. Pinch it in the middle. And then we're going to go back to where we started, which is our base. We're going to open them. I'll show you the first one. Open it. See that? Place it. We're going to close it. This time you could give it 2 or 3 turns, because now is when you're going to actually leave it. You're not going to really be opening more. Now, if the only time that we might do something to it is when we're making a little loop to it, so we could add our greenery. And now you decide. Some people like to leave it like this. Some people like it. I like the X. And now, since I know where my sign is, I'm telling you, I'm loving this. Like that. Just twist it. And that's our first bow. Hola. Muchas gracias. Hello, hello. It is up late today. Okay. Now, let me not be too. At least I don't have characters on it. Because whenever you have characters, you have to worry about their direction a little bit. You don't want to be worrying about their heads being upside down. Usually it's only one that you got to worry about while you're working. But that one can make the whole thing it just throws off the whole thing if that one is in the wrong direction. Okay. So, you know what? I'm thinking we should add a bow. I'm switching everything up today. I'm going along I'm doing this as I go. You know what? Let's just keep going. I already cut the ribbon. So I cut the ribbon. I was gonna add the bow, but it's fine. The ribbons are 13 inches, like I said. Two and a half, 1.5. And then the reason why I paused for a moment is because I do have this matching ribbon that matches the sign, and I want to add the third ribbon to the bow. Now, what I've been doing lately is that when I make the wreath, I mean, you could work with 2 ribbons, 4 ribbons, 3, whatever it is that you may be working on with the mesh. But if I'm working with 2, my bow, I've been pulling in the third ribbon for the bow. I feel like it breaks it up. Like when you add a bow to it, and this is just my opinion, I feel like when you add the bow and it matches the other ribbons exact, sometimes like you kind of lose it. If you have a trick, please let me know, because like I said, everybody's has their own way. So I've been adding a third, kind of to break it up a little, and I've been liking it. This is really cute. Cute, cute. Okay, what did I just do? Why did I change the direction? Because I'm a little bit OCD. And if you look at this ribbon, it has like, it's a little bit thicker. This is nothing. This is just me. This is just me. So I like want the thicker part to be in the same direction in all of them. It doesn't matter. It's just that I noticed that one time, and then I would go back and change them. So now I just try to fix them as I go. Doesn't matter? Absolutely not. Do people notice? No, they don't. They don't. But I know as I'm working on mine. And if I see someone else's, I don't care. It doesn't matter. But as I'm working on mine, yeah, Don't worry about it. Oh, the monitor didn't switch. The one thing about your ribbons is that try not to cover the sign. Oh, look how cute that's looking already. So you see why I pulled in this color? This like, oh my god, I'm blanking out on colors. There's a teal here. Yeah, it's a turquoise. So because the sign has that, remember the sign is what guides you as you're working. So just make sure, well, not always, but like try to incorporate the colors of the sign with like the ribbons. See how cute that looks? This is cute. This is like, I need to stop because I haven't listed like half my wreaths because I'm debating a little bit too much on keeping them. It's like, which one do I want? Even though I do have, I'm staring at it right there. My spring stuff from last year. I'm like, am I gonna use it again, or am I gonna revamp it a little bit, or am I just gonna work on something new? I don't know. What are we doing? No. Oh, is it direction? Oh, that's annoying. Oh, that's right. That's right. A lot of people up tonight. Being solo. See how cute. And we've only done so far the outside, the inner. I haven't done the outside yet. Thank you, Debbie. Have a great night. Thank you so much for stopping in. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye. Yeah, I'm always up. I'm always up. But like I said, if you just stopping in, I tried my best to come on earlier. And since I have kids, I said, you know what? Let's do it with the kids. It is what it is. I'm a mom. I'm with them solo every day. Almost every day. So, let's just go live with the child. With the little one. The bigger one, he just turned 9. He doesn't care. He'll stay upstairs. Big mistake. Big mistake. So I'm thinking if I make something quick, it'll work with her. But if I'm doing something longer like this, I mean, she's 3. That's just not fair to her. At that point, it was like me pushing her a little bit too much. So I decided not to do it anymore. But if she hears me say the word live, oh my god. She's like, you wanna go live? And what's even funnier is that I always forget to say, hey, follow me, subscribe, whatever. I just don't say it. I forget. When I was finishing, this is how much YouTube Kids she watches. When I was saying bye, signing off, she says, subscribe. And I didn't even hear it. It's when I was watching the replay, because I usually try to edit them to post them on YouTube or on Vimeo. And I just lost it laughing. I was like, did she just really say subscribe? And she's 3. Okay, so that's what we have so far. See how cute? And wait till we add the florals. Oh my god. I love adding florals. Who else adds florals to their mesh? Like I always said, add mesh to your florals and florals to your mesh. No, mesh to your grapevines. I love adding mesh to my grapevines. Mesh to the grapevines and florals to the mesh. If that makes sense. Don't have my grapevine behind me. I'm trying to clean up this craft room. I'll give you guys a tour when I clean it up a little bit. Because it's really bad in here. Really, really bad in here. Instead I have everything in here. I don't have a separate storage area. The only separate area that I have is for my finished wreaths, and it's right on the other side. The other side of the basement, completed wreaths. This side, all supplies. Actually, there's supplies out there too. There's supplies everywhere, but the majority is in here. It gets crazy. So I'm not ready to do a live. Like if you go through my feeds, like my Instagram and stuff like that, you'll see it. I show pictures every once in a while. But live, no. Haven't done that yet. No lives of my crazy craft room. And kudos whoever has a beautiful craft room. Like nice and neat and all that. I hope to one day to be like that. Right now I'm super far from that. I'm a messy crafter. Messy supply room. I'm not complaining though, because it means I have supplies, so I have stuff to work with. Okay. Two more and we move on. We move on to the next step, which will be our bow. I do want to add a bow because I do want to incorporate that ribbon. I wasn't sure. I found the ribbon. I said, let's see how we can make it work, but we definitely should add a bow. And then finally we'll add the greenery. And we might not even add that much greenery. We might just add flowers. Now the flowers, oh God, I just realized that. Wait, let me add this last one. I feel like I hear walking upstairs. And I only have the monitor on one child, not both. Oh, it's me, it's not the kid, it's the table. It's the table, no kids walking around. Okay. Look how cute. Look how cute. Wasn't that super simple? Very easy to do. And like I said, you could stop right here. These are all different levels. Every time that you add a new step to it, a different level to it, you could stop there. Look how cute this is. But we're not going to stop here. We're going to add florals and greenery. Okay, so now we have, oops, excuse me, our Easter wreath has to go bye-byes. Let's find a new home for you, a temporary home. Okay there, okay. And let's add our sign. Let's work with it. Now we have to work with it. Up. Don't have a wreath stand yet, like a big one, but I think I like my table. Okay. You see that? Yeah, you can see. Okay. I love how the purple in the sign is incorporated here. Now, and we're not losing the pink. The bottom mesh has not been lost. And I could just keep coming back, making sure that I pull it. could even save that for the end. But let's make sure that we do not lose that mesh. That mesh is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so that's what we have so far. So now here are our florals. This is what I picked. I picked this mini daisy. I thought I lost one. What is one I lost? I forgot a flower. Okay, so we have this. See how cute that would look? Because it pulls out the white in the welcome. See that? And also, if you look at the sign, you have little spots of yellow. So it incorporates the yellow and the white. We also have this pink baby's breath, which I like, but I'm thinking it might be a little bit too much pink. I don't want it to be over abundant with pink. I have a purple one too. And the purple one is a darker one. I didn't think of that. I'm looking over to see if the purple is... And I have a yellow one. And then I have this. I have this awesome bush, which is known as, if you go pretty much anywhere, it's known as Julie's favorite. Because you look it up as Julie's favorite. Julie Samako from Southern Wreaths. This is her favorite. And with good reason. It's amazing. So we might just use these two. Okay, so this is what we have. A yellow. I have this guy here too. Sorry for the crunching. Sorry, I tried to do all this stuff before. See, that's a cute one too. Nah, not loving it. We have this yellow one, but since I used yellow on the other one, I'm trying to switch it up. I really would have liked to have the purple. I feel like it's too yellow. We have these. Kind of disappears. We just start with the pink, right? We could do the pink, because the pink has a green. And then we have this. So let's start with this one. Ah, here's the one. I knew there was a little one that fell off. Okay, so let's cut these guys. Sorry, excuse me for the crunching. And let's get working. Let's work with the greens first. Something that I never do. I always work with the florals first. These two are definitely in. These two are definitely in. Now this bush has, how many? 9. 9 stems. And the one thing is that I'm not going to add them permanently right now. I'm not going to change it, but I'm just going to place them, because if not, I would have to use a steel pick and all that fun stuff. So I'll come back and I'll fix all that stuff later. But just remember to fluff it up, push it to the top. These are all little things that I like to do before. I didn't prep them. But that makes your wreath look fuller. See how flat it is? Just fill it up. I love this thing. Uh-oh. I pulled it a little bit too much. There we go. And do that for everything. Do that for everything. Because it adds a lot more dimension. I don't know where this guy came from. I'll find it. I'll find it. Oh, it came from here. It's the only one that's missing it. It's the only one that's missing it. Yep, came from right here. There you go. Does anyone else do that when you're at the craft store? I do. When I find things, random flowers, I put them back. Try to find their home. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going too crazy for the sake of time. Okay. So we have 9. So as always, let's count. We have, okay, actually no. 9 of these. Oh, we got another one of these. We'll find its home. And then we have these guys. I'm not sure how many of these we have. These came from Michael's. These came from Michael's. And I truly stole them from another project that I had. That I've had laid out there for quite some time. And when I was setting this up before, I was like, you know what? You got a new home. Oh, I just cut them. Oh, well. The leaves aren't too bad on these. Usually you end up cutting off the leaves, but these don't look too terrible. If you understand what I'm saying, sometimes the leaves are like crunchy and they seem a little bit cheap. These are actually not too bad. Okay, these I have to count. Michael doesn't tell us. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. We have an even number here. Okay. So we have 18 spots. And we got 10 of these. So, what do you say? I think let's start with the greenery. Let's start with the greenery. So I'm going to start at the furthest point up top with this one. And all I'm doing is I'm opening up, I'm taking the loops, I'm not opening up the ties, and I'm just making like a little loop. And that's what I'm going to add it. I do have my steel pick machine, which I should be using right now. So I don't have to come back. I really should. But you get the gist. See that? Okay. Make sure. Am I loving it? Okay. So I got one on top. If you place one on top, add one to the bottom. Oh no, I forgot my bow. Forgot about everything. Sorry, everyone. Let's add the bow first. I'm so concerned with the florals that I completely forgot my bow. Sorry. Okay, let's work on the bow. Let's work on the bow. Okay. So with the bow, we have the ribbons, which were this one, 2.5, this 1.5, and then we have this guy. So let's move these out of the way for now. So we work on our bow. I want a bow here. This one definitely requires a bow. So the 2.5 inch I'm gonna have as the bottom one. And you can measure out how long you want your tails. Just remember that it's better to have a long tail and cut it than to make it too short. So I'm gonna make it about 16 inches. I'm grabbing that. This ribbon doesn't really matter if you twist it or not, but I am. Make the first loop, make 12-inch loops, 12 inches, see that? And then you twist it. So we're making believe that like the better side is on the outside. So we grab it, same thing, make sure you're holding it, don't have to go crazy. Another 12 inches, just hold it like that. So, see, I automatically do, I don't even think. You just twist it again. Oops, I went to 13. Why did I do that? 12. Let's fix this up a little. And there we go. I'm going to leave it at 3 because I have 2 more and I don't want the boat to get too crazy. That nicely, but it's okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna add our solid color. My reasoning for that is because I'm adding pattern, solid, pattern. Does that make sense? Instead of adding pattern, pattern, solid. At least for now, I think that'll be best. So since I started on this side, I have 2 loops at the top. Now I'm gonna start at the bottom side. Meaning the tail on this side is below my thumb, and I'm going to start above my thumb. We're doing good with the kids. I need to hurry up. Okay, so now, see I'm grabbing that. Now I'm going to twist it, measure out the 12 inches. It's gonna be a puffy bow, like a little cute round bow, instead of like 3 and 3 on each side, like 3, 2, 2 on each side. That makes sense? Like 3, 3, 3, 2, 2. we're gonna make it just like a nice cute puffy bow. So once I grab that, I'm gonna again twist it, which I think I already did. I already twisted it. Twist it, measure out to 12. Again. Did I twist it? No, I did not. 12 again. And we're grabbing it there. And I'm going to add one more. Twist it. Go to the 12. And we're closing it up. So now if you look at it, you have 2 of the pink up top, 1 of the turquoise, and then you have 1 of the pink here, and then 2 of the other here. See, that's what we have. So now we're gonna add our third one, which is this one. That matches the side perfectly. I had to. So now I'm gonna go back to where I started. Since I started at the bottom, now I'm gonna go to the bottom again. And it doesn't have to be crazy. I could very easily just add 1 or 2 loops to it and leave it like that. Like, it would actually look cute. See, I'm grabbing it. This actually is an easier bow to show you the process. So I'm holding it like this, and the whole point of twisting it is because you have this blank side. So you're gonna twist it, measure out to 12, and then hold it like that. See that? So I could actually puff this up and leave it just like that. See how cute? But I'm gonna add it. Let's add the 3. So now I'm gonna twist it again, measure out to 12, close it, and I'm gonna leave it at 2. I'll leave it at 2 so we could use the tails. See that? And then now I'm going to, actually no, let's do the 3. Let's do the 3. Sorry. Twist it again. Sorry. Close it, as I said. There you go. And now we cut it. I love this ribbon so much. It's like a soft canvas. Absolutely love this ribbon. Okay. So now, what I didn't say as I was working is to try to always measure by pulling them and making sure that they're equal on both sides. So what we're gonna do now is close up our ribbon. So where is my wire? Okay, so I don't have my white wire, which is fine. We're just gonna use this brown one, it doesn't matter. So to close up the ribbon, to complete the ribbon, what I like to do is use any kind of floral wire. Wow, that was dangerous. I personally do not care about the gauge. I use this very thin wire that I got at Michael's during the holidays, and I'm just gonna wrap it around a few times. Always making sure that you're in the center, because if not, your loops are gonna be off. Okay. See that? And once you get to the end, just give it a couple of twists. If you can see that. So now that I'm finished, I'm going to cut it. I would say like about a centimeter, half an inch or so. See that? And then I'm gonna just tuck it in. Tuck it in. Then I have another step, which is this I put away, and now I use my pipe cleaner. The reason I do it this way is because I'm paranoid. I'm always afraid that as I'm working with it, and then I'm adding the pipe cleaner to add to the wreath, it's gonna fall apart. That's just me. That's the way I make my bows. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen. Some people just use the pipe cleaner, some people use zip ties. I'm paranoid. I say it. I'm super overly cautious. So that's why I use the wire. Like I feel like, okay, nothing's gonna happen to it now. You know, it's totally fine. I could drop it right now, nothing's gonna happen. Then I add the pipe cleaner. That's me. But now that I'm at this step, we have to fluff this guy up. Well, actually, let's add the pipe cleaner like this. And then give it like one little half twist. Because now this is how we're gonna add it to the wreath. See that? So now that we're holding it, we're going to poof it up. And we don't have to go crazy because once it's on the wreath is when we could start really playing and moving our loops around. But see how cute that is? Very simple, super simple. And we made it very quickly. Cute, 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 cute bow. See that? See that? Okay, so now we're gonna add our bow to the wreath. I'm gonna add it right here, but just be careful when we do this. This is a time where you would actually want your sign to be a little bit higher because you don't want your bow or your ribbons to cover your sign. People want to see the welcome on the wreath. So I'm gonna add it right to the same spot. That's why before I was thinking about adding the bow first, because if we have ribbons here, it's like, why are you doing it twice? But it's okay. It's fine. So now I'm just gonna come around, grab it through the back. Yeah, I really wanted a bow on this one. See that? We have a cute bow. This is cute. And now we have all these tails. We don't need to have all these tails. If you just want to leave 2 tails, that's totally fine. Choose if you prefer to leave the longer ones. I'm sorry, the 2.5, which are the bigger. And the other ones, you could cut them and then just make like little faux tails. So it looks like more loops. So we could do that. Or just cut them and dovetail them. And I'll show you what I mean. Like it actually looks cute to have the little dovetail sticking out. Or, let's do a little bit longer one. Actually, no, this was a shorter one. Whoopsie. See how that one's a little bit longer? You could just twist it in. Actually, no, I made it too short. We gotta cut it now. We gotta cut it. It's okay. So we have that. We can add another one right here. Actually looks cute when you have those sticking out. Like, do you see that? I love it. You could even change the direction. Like since I have one down here, I want the other one off to the side. It's a little bit too long for me. I want a little bit shorter. So in the end, we just have the 2 longer tails. Now these tails, we could cut them, we could dovetail them. For now, I'm going to leave them long. For now, I'm going to leave them just like that. And I am actually tempted to make a second bow. I want to make a second bow. I want to make a small little bow up here. And I don't even know if I'm going to use this. I think I might just go for these. I mean, how cute would that look? That's what I'm thinking. I prepped it, but it's okay. So this one has 4... I ended up making 3 of each. Since this one is smaller, let's only make 2 loops of each for the top bow, because you're not really gonna see it as much, but you're gonna know that it's there. And since it's gonna have shorter tails, you saw how I cut these. I'm not gonna let's use the word waste, right? Let's not use as much ribbon because we know we don't need as much because it's gonna be up top. So the first one I started was 16 inches. I'm not gonna make it as big. Let's just make it 8-inch tails. Okay, and then our loops are going to be 12. We're still going to use our 12-inch loops. But remember, this time I'm only going to make 2 of each. The last one had 3 of each. Now we're going to do 2 of each. Okay. That's 12. Oops. Lost it. And I'm going to stop right there. Only 2. I had 3 before. I'm only going to make 2. See that? Now we're officially finished with this guy. Okay. Now we are going to use this color. Again, twist it. Once you have it, twist it. And like I said, even though you can't tell if it has a good side or a bad side, it gives it a little bit more of a poof when you do that. It stands it up a little bit more. You'll notice it as you're working. If your bowl sometimes look a little bit flat, if you add a little twist to it, it's going to stand up, it's going to perk up. But also, the edging. That's why before when I was adding the ribbons to the base, you see me staring at it, it's because I'm making sure that I'm facing them all in the right direction, in the same direction. Okay, I'm finished with this one now. And now the last one. Going back to where we started. And like I said, I think I would have had enough to do the whole wreath in it. But it's okay. It looks cute like this. Okay. Twist it. 12 inches. Twist again. Inches, and we're closing it. See that? Making sure that they are even. In this case, depending on how you're making your bow, because if you're stair-stepping, that obviously isn't going to work. Okay. Finally, there we are. Doesn't look like much right now, but we're going to add our wire to it. Again, I use this wire. This one doesn't even matter the color. I was looking for the white, but I didn't want to have you wait while I looked for it. It's right there, but I was just seeing the red. So I just grabbed this one. It doesn't really matter because you're not really going to see it. So now I'm going to add the wire all the way around. Loop it a few times. Once you get to the end, just twist it and cut it. Cut the wire. Oh my god, it's 1:30. I didn't realize how late it was. Okay. But I haven't been live in a week already. That's crazy. Alright. So here we are. Now we're going to add our pipe cleaner to it. And finally, give it that half twist I've said before. And now that I'm holding it like this, I'm going to puff up the bow. And this time it's only 2 of each, so it's not like you're gonna have a lot to get really creative with it, because you're not gonna see it as much. However, you do have all these tails. Here I cut off most of the tails. In this case, because you don't have a lot of loops happening here, work with your tails. Turn your tails in different directions. Have them come out through the top. Remember those 4 loops I said before? if you twist it like this up top, it's going to look like another loop. So this one I'm going to add up here. Make sure I have that half twist in there. I'm going to add it right here. Exactly where my ribbons are. And if you find yourself having to go through the mesh, it's totally fine. I've said it many times before, I used to be terrified of going through the mesh. Sometimes you just gotta go through the mesh. Wait. Turn it a little bit. Okay, so now we have our bow there, but we gotta make it look pretty. We gotta puff it up, because you could tell that it's there. It's not as prominent as this one. This one you obviously know it's there. It's like in your face. This one, you know it's there. You could tell that there's a bow there. So let's fluff it up. And now these extra tails that I was talking about that you have here, you could do the same thing that I did with these, like just dovetail them, or you could curl them out like this one right here. You could curl it without dovetailing it. You could leave some of the tails longer. I am going to make the pink ones a little bit longer. Wait. I almost did that in the wrong direction. Has anybody ever done that? When you end up like making it, like darting it, making it into a point versus the dovetail. That's not fun. Okay, so I'll bring it over so you could see what it looks like. You see me, right? Going in all different directions, trying to make sure I don't cut it in the wrong direction, because it's happened a few too many times. Okay, this is garbage. Okay. And then we could turn it out a little bit. See, make sure you know it's there. You could tell that it's there. Right, you see that? We have our little bow there. Very cute, very cute. Let me bring it by for now so you can see. See, we have a little top bow, and then we have the bigger at the bottom one. The big one at the bottom. Okay. So now, I just want to add these. I have these. And I believe I counted 10. 10 before. I'm still a little bit on the fence about these, but I'm definitely positive about these. And let's add these guys. And then anything that we have left over, we can add these in between. Okay, so let's just start adding these. Now the good thing about these is that they do move up and down. I think we want a little bit more to the top. And once they're on, then we could start playing with the direction. We could start moving them, bending them, having them face, like I said, different directions. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to add is going to be the one right up top. No, it's actually going to be this one. Why did I do that? Why did I change? Because I have a bow here, and also because I'm considering adding the greenery, so the greenery might be the one that's up top. Yeah. So we're gonna add, sorry, you see my thinking process. A little half loop, and I'm gonna push it right through. If I was working with the steel pick, I'll do the same thing. If I don't have guess I'll probably end up turning it because I feel like it's so in your face. Okay. So now we alternate. Now, I'm gonna add up here. I think we're gonna add the pink. I think versus the green, I think I prefer the pink. And now it comes to life. Like, it's cute, but now once you start adding the greenery, I feel like it takes it to a whole different level. Oh, I just pulled out the flower. Okay, so we added one here, skip one, go to the next one. So once I add these little loops, the easiest way to do it is just come back and add glue to them in those same spots. Or if I would have just added a steel pick to it as I go. Make sure you can see that. Yeah. See how it's changing already? So we skipped one, add one right here. We have our bow in the middle. I'm not changing this. Sometimes I come back and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna change it a little bit, like after I get off the camera. But like it happens the next day, you know how it is, you work on it and then you come back and you're like, no. But I don't see that happening today. I am really happy with this. And I also planned it out last night. I already had it laid out. I feel like when I take my time to plan them out, it just works better. Okay. So we have one here. We skipped this one. We could add one here. And then the last one over here. And it kind of does a little triangle around the welcome sign. So it worked out perfectly. And I might actually have extras. If I feel that it doesn't work out design-wise, I won't use it. And that's okay. I don't like having extras, but if it worked out that way, for the sake of the design, then we add extras. I have one more here. One more. Where are you going? Where are you going, my friend? There you go. And now you can start twisting them, turning them, all that great stuff, right? But look how much that changed already. And I still have 3 left over. I'm not doing anything with these 3. We're gonna go to this awesome pink guy. We're gonna use the pink. We're gonna use it. We had the greenery. The greenery would have looked nice. Add the greenery and the pink. No. Let's just add the pink. Let's add the pink. Oh, I feel bad I cut up the bush already. Like it's not gonna get used like tomorrow. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut this guy. Now this bush has to be separated, like any other bush. The first one, it is pretty straightforward. Meaning they're all the same. Every stem that you have is gonna be the same. However, this one, they're different. And I'll show you what I mean by different. It's because I've used them. I have this in so many colors. I got this from Greenery Market. I don't know how many they still have, but they did have the purple and the pink and the white, the cream. Wasn't able to get my hands on the cream. Those disappeared. But they do have different colors. So now, I do have a blue though. I have a blue. I'm going to start working on beach stuff too. Okay, so the thing that we're going to do with this now is we're going to separate them. And this is what I mean. This bush has these guys and it has these guys. You have 2 different types of stems within it. So I like to separate them according to stem type. And then that's how we're going to add it to our wreath, so that way we distribute it evenly. Okay, so we obviously have a lot more of these. Oh, we lost one of these. We gotta find its home. That's what I mean. That I always sit there and I'll try to find where it came from. I do that. Not right now. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 of the big ones. So these we added. How many do we have? 10. And we added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Done. Because we have 3 left. So 7. So that means that 7. We have how many points? 18. So we have 11 spots, and we have 12 of these. So we could be left over with 1, or we could double up. So I don't think we're gonna double up. Oh no, I lied. We have a bow. So that's 7 plus 2. That's 9. So we have 9. We only need 9 of these. So let's just start adding them, alternating them, and see what we got. So, being that we have a flower here, I'm going to add this guy. Let's add this guy right here. Again, make that little loop. And have the flower go right there. Let's see if we like it. If we don't like it, we'll take it off. That's the other good part about not adding it permanently right away. But like I said, I planned this out last night and I was feeling very good about it. Very, very good about it. Which is funny because just now I was trying to change it up a little, right? I was trying to change out the colors and nope. Went right back to what my original decision was. See how I alternated? I went from the regular, the one that doesn't have that little foxtail or the asable thingy. This one doesn't have it, this one does. So now, because this one doesn't have it, this one will. Which is right here. I try to be strategic when I do this. I really do. Over analytical me. See that? So we added that one. So now I would add one of these. And the beauty of this is that we could, if it turns out to be like a little bit too long or whatever, we could play with it. This is so cute. I am seriously loving this wreath. This guy will have one right here. The bad part is that I have to come back and touch it again. If that makes sense. Like I have to come back now and secure it. Like if I would have just secured it now, it would have been, that's it, finished. Take photos and list it. But I gotta come back. That's fine. The only thing that I'm not doing as much that I normally should be doing, is making sure that I'm bending it in different directions, opening it up a bit. You don't want it to all be facing the same direction. You want to turn them around a little. Okay, so I have this guy here. I do have an opportunity to add another one of those little mini daisies. That's what it is. I don't know if it's correct. I believe it's a little daisy. I like having the 3, but I think it needs it. So we're gonna add this guy up here. I don't think it matters. Which one's smaller? I think they're the same. love that. I love this baby's breath. It's awesome. See, and I'm kind of glad I didn't add the greenery. Because it does have like a bit of, it has its own greenery with it. And then finally, I will add this right here. I believe that's the last one. Okay, so now, I actually ended up framing it, which is fine. I wanted the 3, but it's okay. You know, the rule of 3. It's okay. It's okay. Not the end of the world if we broke the rules. We do have one more spot down here. So, and it's not even. Because we have that one, this guy. So technically, it doesn't matter because you don't really see it. Doesn't really matter. So we could pick anyone that we want. I'm going to add this guy under the bow because you could see it a little bit. You could kind of see it. That. So I did have extras. I had extras, and this is something that we try not to do. We try not to have extras, but we had a few extras. What I could do with these extras, though, is, especially this one, is add little pieces of it, of these to the bows. Let's add a little bit of greenery to the bows. So, for example, just so you have an idea, is I would remove this, right, and I would add it right there. See that? And it adds a little bit. It ties in the greenery and the floral to the bow. If that makes sense. But we are finished. Yay! Did I miss anything? Nope. That's it. Okay. So in the end, I did a kind of little no-no, but it's okay. Because I'm sure I will use it somewhere. And I have extras. It's fine. If I have an arrangement, I could just add them to an arrangement to fill in some spots. If I have another wreath that's using similar items, I could do the same thing. So, no materials ever go wasted. But here it is. Here's the final product. This is what we made together. See that? Let's see. Let me show you. I'm super happy with it. Let me know what you think. It didn't take too long. I mean, everything was prepped before we started. So that obviously helped. But there it is. There is our wreath that we just made. The only thing that it is missing that I did not add is the hanger. I always add a hanger to my wreaths in the back. I always like to do that. But how cute is that? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Sorry if I'm going different directions because I'm going opposite of what I'm looking at. There we go. Cute wreath. Very simple. Not so simple, but you know what I mean. The process wasn't the most difficult, and the results were very cute. Very pretty. Super spring. And that is it. I'm not adding anything else to it. I didn't miss any spots. We're good. I love the pink. I love how all the colors tied in together. This is definitely a keeper. And I actually might buy more of those signs because this could be technically be something that would sell more than once. Hint, hint. For those of us who sell, right? Bestsellers or multiples. We've heard that. Okay, so thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate you being with me, especially late on a weeknight. I hope you learned something. If you liked it, please give me a like, or if you loved it, give me a little heart and follow me. Or just go on my website at minecraftstudio.com and you have links to the videos there. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a great night and stay warm, everyone. Take care.